It took me 49 years of living to finally understand this. And it took losing my mother to have the courage to say it out loud. I thought I had time. I really did. Time to call later, time to visit next week, time to have those conversations someday when life slowed down. I didn't make loud mistakes. I didn't disappear. I didn't abandon her. My mistakes were quieter than that. They sounded like, "I'm busy right now. I'll come by another day. We'll talk about it later." And later always felt safe, guaranteed, endless, until it wasn't. If you still have someone you love, a mother, a father, someone who shaped you, listen carefully, because life rarely warns you when the last moment is approaching. There is no announcement, no countdown, no second chance built into time. One day, a conversation you rushed becomes the one you wish you could relive. One hug you postponed becomes the one you would give anything to repeat. I didn't lose my mother in a single moment. I lost her slowly by believing I could wait. And that belief cost me everything.
This is not a story about neglect in the way people usually imagine it. I was not absent. I didn't disappear. I didn't stop showing up. I was there. I called. I visited. I asked the basic questions. How are you? Do you need anything? From the outside, it looked like I was doing my part, like a good son, like someone who cared. And that's what makes this so dangerous, because the greatest mistakes of my life were never obvious. They didn't look like cruelty. They looked like responsibility, like being busy, like adulthood. This is not a story about one dramatic failure. It's about something far more subtle: delay. The belief that important things can wait, that love doesn't need urgency, that tomorrow is guaranteed. This doesn't happen all at once. No one wakes up one day and decides to take people for granted. It happens slowly, while you're building a career, while you're paying bills, while you're solving problems that feel urgent and important. It happens while life feels normal. You convince yourself that you'll slow down later, that you'll be more present when things calm down, that there will be a better moment for deeper conversations. And because nothing seems wrong, you keep going. Days turn into routines, routines turn into years, and without noticing, love becomes something you assume instead of something you practice. If you're listening to this and thinking, "This sounds familiar," that's the point. Because most people don't fail the people they love by doing something terrible. They fail them by doing nothing different, by repeating later until later quietly disappears. This story isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. Because if you can see yourself here, it means you still have time. And time, when used well, can change everything.
Our second mistake. We believed that being there was the same as being connected. I showed up physically. I sat in the same room. I listened to her voice. So I assumed that was enough. But connection demands more than proximity. In the beginning, when I visited her, I was fully there. I noticed small things: the way she smiled before speaking, the pauses in her voice when something hurt. But over time, my body arrived and my attention didn't. I answered messages while she spoke. I checked my phone during conversations. I listened while already preparing my response. I heard words, but I missed meaning. At the time, none of this felt cruel. It felt normal. Everyone was busy. Everyone was distracted. And that's what made it dangerous. Because distraction slowly replaces presence without announcing itself. I asked, "How are you?" but I didn't wait for the real answer. I nodded at the right moments, smiled when expected, moved the conversation along when it became emotional. I told myself I was being practical, efficient, but what I was really doing was avoiding depth. Connection requires vulnerability, And vulnerability takes time, patience, and attention. Things I thought I couldn't afford. Slowly, she shared less. Not because she had nothing to say, but because she felt I wasn't really hearing. People don't stop talking when they feel understood. They stop when they feel tolerated. Looking back, I see how often I chose convenience over connection. I was present in the room, but absent in the moment. And that absence left marks. Not loud ones, quiet ones. A small disappointment in her eyes, a pause before answering, a conversation that never started. I believed love could survive on routine presence alone. It can't. Connection needs attention, the way a fire needs oxygen. Without it, it doesn't go out suddenly. It fades. And by the time you notice the cold, you don't remember when the warmth disappeared. That's the cost of confusing presence with connection.
Third mistake. I treated love like a habit, something stable, predictable, always there. I stopped asking deeper questions, stopped being curious about her thoughts, her fears, her memories. I assumed I already knew her, but people age, change, reflect, and I missed who she was becoming. Fourth mistake. I avoided uncomfortable conversations. I didn't ask how she was really feeling, didn't ask what she feared, didn't ask if she needed me more. I thought silence meant peace, but silence was just avoidance wearing a calm face. My fifth mistake. I lived as if goodbye was something distant, something for the future, something abstract. I never imagined that one conversation could be the last, and that illusion cost me everything.
There were no dramatic speeches. She was lying in bed, weak, quiet. She held my hand and said, "Don't wait so long to love people." That was it. No lecture, no accusation, just truth. And in that moment, I realized I didn't know how to answer, because it was already too late to change the past. That silence shattered me. Nothing changed overnight. My mother was gone, but something inside me shifted. I began to show up differently, to listen fully, to stop postponing affection. Rebuilding doesn't mean fixing the past. It means honoring it by living differently now. I can't go back, but I can stop wasting time with the people who are still here. If you still can, don't wait. Don't save words for later. Don't postpone hugs. Don't assume tomorrow. There is no perfect moment. There's only now. Because at the end of life, no one regrets loving too much. They regret waiting too long. If this story touched you, call your mother, your father, someone you love. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it. Time is quiet, but it is relentless. Choose love. Today, now.